One show at a time.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Calling All Detailers podcast. I have Michael from Babski Auto Detailing. How's it going, Michael?
Good, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Just living the American dream. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into detailing, and then we will go into how you operate and the challenges in your and being able to detail every single day.
All right. Well, it all kind of started as being curious as a child. Every Friday, I used to wash cars with my dad, our personal cars. And then as I grew up as a teenager, I kind of got curious with the products early on. And I would go and buy different products at the store and try different things out. And my dad taught me how to use the whole old turtle wax compound, how to wax a
Okay.
car.
Wax on, wax off.
And then I started watching YouTube. I started watching Pan the Organizer. I was like, and as a teenager, I was in a car club. I did car stereos. We had car shows every Friday. So they used to bring their cars over to my house on Friday morning, line up in the middle of the road, and I used to detail the cars for the show. And then being in the military, I was stationed in Oahu at Schofield Barracks, and I decided it was right before COVID hit. And one of my friends from work, he had a small Chevy pickup, brand new. And I was like, man, your truck is really dirty. Why don't you bring it over? I need something to do. Everything was starting to shut down, and I had all the stuff in my garage. And I ended up detailing his car for like 4 hours, putting a couple sealants on there and cleaning the whole inside of the car. And he picked it up and he was like, oh my gosh, like, why don't you start a business? And I was like, you know what? I should. Like, this is something I've done. I had just lost my dad. And everything in Hawaii was closed, the beaches, everything like that started to close down. So I was like, well, this would be a great opportunity for me to make some extra money and to keep myself busy. So I started my own business.
Great. So you started this during the COVID pandemic,
Uh-huh.
and you lived in Hawaii, and then I think you found me somewhere in between there,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you end up moving to where we have the office at nearby, and I do know you personally. Your wife worked for Pearl Nano for a while, and we've kept in touch, and so that's great. So it went from just family, friends, and then since you are in the military full time, you started a side gig as a detail business. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Great. Well, okay, so you have a lot of challenges. You're in the military full time, so Uncle Sam comes first, and then you have an awesome family, and then you have detailing. How do you juggle all of that and still have time to do cars?
So I use my CRM. I started off so I always started my business. I always wanted to show myself as a professional, right? So I started using Mobile Tech RX. It's really made for PDR, but they also have it for mobile detailers. So when I was in Hawaii, a lot of the problem was not a lot of face to face, so I had my own booking link and I would send that out on my Facebook page and send it out. I started a Google page and I started using that as my marketing tool for COVID, like no face to face, touchless service, pay online, all that kind of stuff. So I used that CRM and I only paid like $35 a month for it. So it was great. So I could even upscale my costs for when I was doing an inspection of someone's vehicle. I can use it and I can add on if the car was for like the inside factors, if it was super dirty, I could upcharge them even more during the thing and send them the invoice before so they can approve it. And then I can make extra money. So I ended up doing that. And then being in the military full time with the CRM that I use now, I use Detail Bookie. I'm able to make my schedule to where people could only book for either a Friday or Saturday. And if they want to do it, like if I need to do like a ceramic coating during the week, I usually do drop-offs Thursdays because I usually have the car for about 3 days. So what they'll do is they'll drop it off Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon. And then when I come home from work, I'll start doing the prepping it. And then I pull it into my garage and then I start my polishing and clay bar and all that kind of stuff, decon, making sure it's good, all the taping. And
And you have a couple helpers that can help you as well, right?
Yeah, so Alexander has been curious, so he's helped me a bunch. Asher, not too much. He likes the game, but Gina will also do interiors for me. She's really good with interiors. She does like to. She's really good at with exterior, but she won't. She doesn't want to touch a polisher. So as
Okay,
long as
so you have you can only detail, I guess, you can handle one car a weekend if it's something that you can handle with the kids and
yeah.
Christmas and other things like that. So how many cars a month do you think you get done? Maybe 3?
Oh, no, I'm usually booking. So Saturday is usually my long day. So Friday, I'll do either, depending on how the schedule is, like, especially during the summertime, I'll have a car Friday evening. And then Saturdays, I usually have 3 cars. And then sometimes that third car will roll into a Sunday morning while I'm finishing up. I get a lot of people with mold remediation here. So I get a lot of mold or stuff for like, so military, being in the military, I get a lot of people for PCS. And so I have to get it ready for the VPC, which is a vehicle processing center. So I make sure it's up to code for them. So when they ship it, when they go for their inspection, they see the car for inspection and they can ship it off to wherever, to, Germany, or pretty much a lot of people have PCS here to Hawaii. So,
Right.
so I make sure their
Great.
car is good to go.
Well, you have like a clientele right there on base, and they don't
Yeah.
have to go very far, and they can drop it off, and it's it's a big base, but they can get around without a car for a couple days, and great. Well, how do they find you?
So I get a lot of people through Facebook. So one thing I've done is use my story brand marketing approach, where you want them to be pretty much I'm the hero, and I make sure that I have clear packages, and I make sure I tell them, I do a full inspection, a walk around. I kind of want to build that trust with my customer, and with a CRM, if I get the money isn't in the estimate, it's in the follow up. So if someone is making a estimate on my page, I automatically get that notification. As soon as I get that, I'll text them and be like, "Hey, this is Mike from Babski Auto Detailing. I saw that you started an estimate. Is there something I can help you with?" And if they don't respond back, I pick up the phone.
There you go.
I'm an Army recruiter, so I don't mind making cold calls. So I'll pick up the phone and I'll be like, "Hey, I just saw that you had an estimate. I wanted to just follow up with you and see if there's anything I can help you out with, any questions, concerns." And then most of the time they're like, "Oh yeah, I just got side busy and I was gonna do it later." I'm like, "Well, let's get you on the books for this weekend. I fill up very quick. Let's get you on the schedule." And then sure enough, I send over that invoice. They even make the estimate for them and add up a couple things on there. Send it over. They approve it. They make the deposit, and I got them for the weekend.
Wow. So I forgot that you had changed jobs. How long have you been an Army recruiter?
So I've been a recruiter for a year now.
Okay.
A year.
All
A
right.
year.
I didn't know that. So how you went to school? So tell me a little bit about sales training and how it equates to your
So
detailing business.
it's funny because the Army actually has their own CRM as well. They have a system. So a lot of people don't know, like, when you go to high school, all that contact information gets sent to the Army recruiting centers, right? That's how the schools get their funding. So we have all these contact numbers for juniors and seniors, and then calling people. I used to not be I'm very I used to be a very shy person. The military helped me grow out of my shell. I can able to talk in front of people and, call people on the phone. That was a big thing for me when I went to school, like cold calling. Like, you never know how it's going to happen. Like, sometimes you get some not so nice things said to you.
Right? Never call me
Uh,
again.
but, you always have to, help with the objections and, kind of see around that, because people are usually calling you. For the most part, for me, like, I've always had people call me. Sometimes I try to screen my calls, and Gina it's funny because she's like, why don't you pick up the phone? You don't know who it is. Like, maybe they're calling. I'm like, I don't know. And then I forget. I'm like, oh, I do run a business. So, like, I'll kind of be like, okay, they're calling me for a detail. So I'll pick up, and then, 90% of the time they're calling me saying they're looking for a quote. And I'm like, well, here's my link. Go to my booking page and you can make your own estimate. You don't even need me because every car is different. Every package is different. So using
So
that.
so And how his sales, besides being able to call people a little bit out of your shell now, you have also some better systems and processes in place to take the customer from beginning to end. And is that improved your business, bottom line?
It definitely has. Using Detail Bookie has definitely helped me scale my business even more. And like using like my Google business profile for like the 5-star reviews, that puts me up top more. And the thing is with being in the military community, you do have a lot of people start the side hustles during the summertime. And, I have no problem with people starting their side. I think that's great. Everybody starts somewhere, right? But the problem is a lot of people in the military community, they really want to pay for a cheap, fast service, right? And I usually tell people, I'm like, listen, when you come to me, you're coming to me because I'm the professional. I'm here. I'm going to make your car. Your car's going to be with me probably more than 4 hours, but you're paying for quality service. There's not going to be a mistake. If there is a mistake, I'm going to fix it. I'm not going to just be like, go away and take your money. I'm not trying to make a quick dollar off of you. I'm trying to keep you in the long run as a long-term customer so you come back. Because most of my customers I've had since I've been here have come back to me or referred more people to me. So word of mouth is a good thing. Visibility and content like TikTok, I haven't really got into too much, but Instagram posting consistency, that's helped a lot on the Facebook spouses page and stuff like that, the spouse networks and all that kind of stuff. Just to kind of put your business out there more. And then, with Facebook, you have the business suite app where you can like schedule your postings. So I use my chat GPT and I put all that stuff. I say, hey, make myself a story brand, a marketing approach for the week and some call to actions. And I put that in there and it draws it up for me. And I put that in, I copy and paste, put some stuff from CapCut on there for videos from past stuff and put that on there and post it into the groups. And, I try to hit it on the weekends and Fridays because a lot of people, I see that from my analysis from Facebook, what times are mostly hit and viewed for my times. So I try to post at the same times. So I get more people drawn in for a better, like more outreach, I guess.
Okay. How about ads? Are you doing any Facebook ad
So
targeting?
I really haven't done any ads since I was in Hawaii. Most of the time, I'm really, really busy. And it's a lot of I think it's really just being my content, posting every day at least once or twice a day. Right now during the holidays I've kind of wanted to just take a break, and it's been, I think, with the government shutdown at one point it's kind of slowed down just a tad bit for me, which is good because I needed a break to kind of like refresh myself. And that's the great thing about owning my own business and being in the military with a busy family is I can, if I wanted to, I can just shut down not be able to have anybody make any bookings on my site.
That- That's a good idea. Yes, that's how you control who can come in and who can't. They just can't drop their car off at your house.
Yeah. So I was mobile for a little bit when I first, because at the older house, I didn't have my own garage. Like I had a lot of street stuff. So people were dropping off in the front of the street and it wasn't ideal because we were in an older house. So all my stuff was in the basement. So I was bringing it all up. So now everything's in the garage. I have it all set up, nice professional lighting and all that kind of stuff in there. So I've always wanted to make myself professional looking. I have a process when people drop off their cars. I introduce myself. I say, hey, thank you for choosing me today. I'm like, hey, and as this is for everybody can do it. I have a kind of like a customer agreement, service agreement. I have it printed out. I use that with my iPad. I walk around with my paint gauge. I inspect their car. I even, you know, advise them like, hey, your headlights are a little cloudy. You want to get these fixed up today? I can do that for you. I always try to upscale my stuff and try to walk them through the process. I'm like, hey, you see this? And while I'm doing that, I also educate them because here in Washington, we get a lot of mold, moisture in the car. I'm like, hey, you got a little bit of mold growing on your carpet here. One good thing is you can put some damp raid stuff in your car. They have the absorbent bags you can put in your car, dehumidifier bags. You can order that on Amazon.
Are you extracting the mold out with an extractor, or how are you helping with that?
Yeah, so I have an extractor, I have a steamer, I have it all. I've taken a couple classes online for mold remediation, just to kind of get like a different, kind of have a little bit more knowledge of how to get rid of mold and stuff like that. I use some different chemicals. I treat it. I also have like the big fans to dry it out because when I usually do mold remediation, I usually keep the car more than 24 hours. So I try to make sure there's no moisture in the car, and then I send them off because usually, for the most part, I've had a car. This guy went to the field. He had a Honda CRV. He left the whole entire sunroof open when he went to the field for a week, and it rained. And his whole entire spare tire area was full of water. It was just everything was covered in mold.
So it went in the car onto the floor and then gravitated towards the back.
Yeah, it was like the seats. There was mold spores everywhere on the plastic, everywhere. I ended
Are
up
you
having
wearing a mask?
Oh yeah, I wear a mask, and gloves, a whole suit, everything. And then when I'm done with my stuff, I have to sanitize everything. So if I do mold remediations, it's a 2 to 3 day process, and then it's a whole day of just cleaning all my stuff. Because I won't put it in anybody else's car once I clean
What
it
do you
up.
charge for something like that?
Roughly around $600 to $800 or something like that, depending on how bad it is. And then I try to just it's really all. What I tell people is like you get the estimate from my booking site. When you bring it in, I'll do the full walk around inspection. I make sure there's no damages. I'm taking pictures with them. I'm getting their VIN. And then one thing I also, to add value to my services, is all my stuff reports to Carfax. So that's another thing I use as marketing. I'm like, hey, don't go to Side Joe because his services don't bring value for your car. I have Carfax reporting services. If any type of service, any coatings, stuff like that, all that goes onto your Carfax. So when you drop it off at the dealership to sell it for resale value, they can pull up your history and be like, hey, it's been detailed, it's been ceramic coated. This person really took care of their car.
Now, can any detailer sign up to be a Carfax reporter?
So you can most of the booking the CRMs that are out there on the market, most of them have, like, if you can pay for the Carfax. Like if you have a booking site like Orbital, I think it's called, you can use that, and they have like you pay monthly. I think it's like $100. There's Road FS. There's a bunch of them There's different ones. You just have to see what's. For me, $69 a month for detail booking, where it comes with preset packages set up, already made, and you can just add your own and customize it to the way you want. It's great.
I met those guys in SEMA a couple years ago, and I think their business is doing great.
Yep. And then I don't know if you know Dustin Jackson.
I think that's who I met. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he has his own down there in Alabama. So, but he's great.
Okay, so let's transition to, this podcast is all about how to make more money for detailers, right? So you gave us some great nuggets, CRM, how to, pick up that phone, make those calls, walk them through. And then you talked about Carfax and even going as far as mold remediation. I don't know, a lot of people are doing that. That I know it's big here where we're at because it's raining all the time. But what other kinds of tools or tips or tricks that you'd like to, give to the other guys?
It's don't hide behind social media. That's don't hide behind social media, and pick up the phone and call people. That's going to help you book people, because a lot of people nowadays, even like a lot of teenagers I see, they don't like the talk on a telephone. They like to send out a text message, and that's why if I get someone that goes onto my booking site, I see that they did it. That's why immediately I follow out that text message and be like, hey, this is Mike from so and so. What can I help you with? You need some help navigating on the site. And if they don't respond back, then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it like 5-10 minutes, and I'm gonna call them right away, because they're already reaching out to see. Like, a lot of people shop around, and you want to. I'd rather over follow up than under earn. So I'd rather more reps with everything fixes everything. So, calling them, texting them, show them like, hey, I'm going to build the estimate for you and send it over to you. Just take a look at it, see what you like, and then when you drop it off, try to make them feel like they're really coming to you because you're the professional. I'm like, why shop around and look for something cheaper? Because a lot of people, you want to you don't want to really, like, I always say that it was like a kind of like a side hustle for me. But I started a business from the get-go. I started from the beginning. I always want to be a professional. I started my own website. I had a website in Hawaii, and I had like my uniforms. I had a SOP in place. I try to start off because I don't know, it's because I was in retail when I started at Publix years ago and I was a manager and all that kind of stuff. I just always wanted to be professional and show that, hey, if you're coming to me, I have the skills that have got me started, and now I have the systems that are getting me paid.
Right, right. Wow. Yeah. If you are a professional, act like a professional, look like a professional, have your work speak for itself, use high quality products, report on Carfax if you can, and answer those phone calls. In my business, I hear a lot of customers saying the other companies never
Totally.
answered their email, never took up the phone. And, I'm a sales guy. This is what I live and breathe sales stuff. And, and I knew you, I've known you for a while, and I know that you're a little shy, and to see you blossom and go out there and crush it and call those people and juggle your family, the military, and your business. It's all awesome. I really like it. I'm glad that you guys are doing great. So any last words before we go here?
I don't know. I mean, my goal is to build a business that works for me without holding a polisher. So that's something that I'm hoping one day when I retire. I'm 43 now. I don't think I'll be holding a polisher. Maybe I'll be kind of more like Dustin Jackson and being the brains of everything, and then having all your little workers work for you to bring you the money instead of your.
That's how you run a business. You do it in the beginning, and then you transition to managing other people that do it, but you're always there oversighting, make sure everything, trust but verify, as Ronald Reagan said.
Yeah.
Why? Excellent. Well, it's great talking with you, and thanks so much for being on the podcast. And we will see you on the next episode, and maybe we'll catch up with you in a year or so. All right?
Alrighty.
All right. We'll see you later.
All right. Have a good one.
Calling all detailers, gather around the sound, a place to learn the secrets that will lift you off the ground. Tips and tools and stories shared from shop to shop, helping you grow stronger with each neatly polished drop. Calling all detailers podcast, guiding every grind, helping detailers make more money, one show at a time. From the first rinse of the morning to the final shine at night, the wisdom in each episode will help you get it right. Raise your rates with confidence, let your business climb. Tune in and keep leveling, one detail at a time. Calling all detailers podcast, guiding every grind, helping detailers make more money, one show at a time. Calling all detailers podcast, guiding every grind, helping detailers make more money, one show at a time.